Good evening. Welcome to a very special edition of the Power Hour. I'm Steve, along with C Red. Rion Skills on board tonight with the photos. And our guest of honor is a man that has enjoyed a bit of redemption, a bit of completion, and perhaps a small bit of satisfaction in a tumultuous time. It is my once adversary, my boss, my friend, my mentor. We could go on and on. The one, the only, bulletproof Ben McCoy. Hello, Ben. How are you this evening?
I am doing very well. Thanks for having me, you guys. Happy to be on here.
Uh,
Maybe for the last time, but this is good.
there's something about that word
No.
last time. Um, it's so final, and maybe you're right. Maybe this is it. And
No.
after the match, at the end of Honor Bound, uh, it certainly did have a finality to it.
Yeah.
Uh, from what you said and who you were sharing the ring with, uh, it certainly did have an air of finality. Watching you in that ring with that microphone at the end, and there are many pictures that have documented that. Uh, Everybody surrounded the ring. I stayed on commentary so I could capture the moment, if you will, with some perspective. Chris and Annie went to be with you, and as they should, but I wanted to be there for historical purpose because if this is indeed the final appearance of Ben McCoy, I felt that there needed to be some historic precedent set on commentary as you were going. Did it feel final to you?
Oh, that's a good question. Uh, in a lot of ways, yes, I would say it did. I think what it gave me more than anything was the sense of no matter what it is, um, if I was to ever come back, it would have to be something that was either such a passion project and near and dear to my heart that I felt like I had to insert myself, or it would just have to be the absolute like perfect story. Because it's kind of like, you get done with the Rapture story, you get done telling that arc, takes a year. It's a complete 180 versus a lot of other wrestling companies were kind of going against the grain and trying this big long program, in a time where, let's be honest, most indie companies wrap their things up in 2 to 3 shows, four tops. And so we tried to uh, find longevity and do something a little different. So when you do that, I think because it was such a long storyline, there was a little more finality feeling to it because it was such an arc going from Ben McCoy falling into darkness and becoming the creator and turning on Shaq Jordan in the ladder match at Climb to Glory in May last year to to Ben putting together the Rapture and having this awful group and then really putting it together with Arrogant and Xavier coming in for Night for Tyler, and then to have it all get turned on the character in December at the Godfather show, and have this guy, where you have to have this character come back from literally ostracizing himself. He has put himself on the proverbial island, and you get the opportunity to get that arc to try and find that redemption, as Steve so apropos likes to say. That it's such an intriguing arc because there is so much uh, uh, you know thought process that goes behind it. It's very method. You try to make it as real as you can and really find the raw nerves. It's been no secret. Me and Joey Avalon have had a long standing history with one another for damn near a decade. I you talk about Brett and Sean. I've always looked at Avalon as the Sean to my Brett. I always like, you like him, really, him? All right, well, I'm just as good, but I'm probably better, and I'm going to show you right now why. And I think that's what made it fun to always want to work with him in that capacity, because when you get somebody who get that drive in you and makes you kind of get full of piss and vinegar, and you're like, all right, well, fine, I'll show you. It does nothing but bring magic because it has now you have two individuals driven to get the same goal. So you know there's a lot of that, but this is such a long-winded answer. But it really does come down to there was a lot of finality, but I think it was a lot more of the story and the fact that we were able to accomplish something so large and bringing Ken Anderson in it in the middle of it into the end to do the turn to have Ken be a heel, which is so different than what most people do with him. Which we, who knows, people might have hated it. We were blind there and hoping that they would catch on to the story and that's I look at that picture down there on Rion's page there, and it's just what a great group of talent right there. Merrick and Rivera and Xavier were nothing but top notch to work with. Avalon and Sierra are literally the two best that Wisconsin have. 1A, one and 1A, and it doesn't. You can ask anybody and they'll flip flop who's 1 and 1A. So, that was great to have my son Gavin come back and be the fourth man for us. And I think that's where the finality of the question really wrapped up in was, man, it's been a lot to it's like you get done with that story and it's like you're on top of Mount Everest. And I felt this one time before, and to name drop, it was when I worked Rob Van Dam. That I felt that Everest moment of like, this is as good as it's going to get. Like, you should really, and that was the last time I had thought about walking away. And this time it's like, you tell this amazing story. The guy doesn't have a friend in the world. So what does he do? He gets his two biggest enemies to somehow join his fight, and then wraps it up by bringing back his strange son that no one's seen for 2 years to be the fourth man, all put together by his 16-year-old daughter, who was, put in harm's way to begin this entire craziness. What a wonderful arc! What a wonderful perfect circle to loop it all together. And couldn't have done it with everybody involved. They were all in. Every single one of them was the reason we got the result we did. So
It was a pretty spectacular way to end a show like Honor Bound. And there is that moment where Gavin came out with Verona. That was one of those holy shit moments. It's no secret that the fourth member of Team Frontline was going to be Rob Van Dam, but with a broken ankle he suffered at WrestleMania weekend, that took care of that pretty quick. So everybody was speculating, who's he going to go and get? We knew Marche was coming. We thought maybe it was Marche. Is he going to get somebody from that he's worked with in the past? Could it be Kurt Angle? Could it be, somebody from the past that's a big superstar? I mean, there were so many possibilities. As good as it would have been to have Rob Van Dam at that show, and believe me, I've always wanted to work with the guy, so it would have been very exciting for sure. It almost made it better that it ended up being a surprise, and the surprise ended up being Gavin, because Gavin and you butted heads right before he left.
yep.
And to have him come back and kind of save your soul, your children saved your soul. And I think that's such an important nuance, because not only did they save your frontline soul, they are saving your soul in the real world to a certain extent as well. Funny how life imitates art.
Very much so. And that picture right there, that's what it's all about. I mean, there's the moment. Like, people ask me, like, and there's not a lot, but a couple people are like, well, when are you going to come back? Like, when do you think maybe you might want to do something? And the only answer I have right now is it's got to be something that tops that. Like, how do you top that? Like, if it doesn't top that, I don't have any interest. I just don't. I'm 41 years old. I'm about to be 42 in a few days, and it's just I've done this for 20 years. It goes by in a blink. Red knows this, and it's just, you almost look back and you're like, oh, I remember being young. I remember being the young guy. I remember being the guy that everybody gave shit to, and then it was like, and I remember being like the up and coming guy and the guy that everybody liked. Then I remember being the guy that nobody liked. And then I remembered being like the veteran guy that people were looking for answers. And then the next thing you know, it's like you wake up and you're the boss of this stuff, which I hate that word. But you're like the runner of this whole like ship, and it's it's awesome in a lot of wonderful ways, but it's also very like unnerving of like, I don't know how I got here. It's pretty wild. And I think with that comes this natural dissipation of wanting to perform. I think it's because as we get older, the locker rooms change, and uh, it's not your buddies and your friends in there in that locker room anymore. It's their kids, and it's like literally it's their kids. That's like literally their kids. You know, like
Yeah.
you work with Ryan Cross, and the next thing Jordan's sitting next to you, and Dave Hero books you, and the next thing Cal's sitting next to you, and you're just like, I worked with your dad. It's like, what? I'm that guy. I'm that old that I'm the guy who says I worked with your dad. I think I can think of Kazile and it's being like, I worked with your dad. Weird. Good to see you. Like, what a wild moment, and to just have that realization. But it does make you like, you rode and died with those guys on that road, especially in my era. And Red knows this. I feel like we were the last of the Wild West Cowboys, Red. Like we were the last of we rode horses and we slept on the ground and we did all the old, we slept under the stars and found our way with our maps and shit. And then something happened. We blinked and the Industrial Revolution came through, and the fraternity of professional wrestling became a business and a school and academic. I mean, there's academies now for this. And, before it was like you had to know this guy or that guy or let this guy beat you up. And then maybe this other guy might take you to a place that you could possibly train. Those days are gone. And, it's just about aging with the times. I look at it as now as like we have such an amazing roster at Frontline Pro. To think that we're 7 years into this, and now we're just we're just starting to really hit that zenith of that peak, and there's just so much more that we have to do. Being able to purchase our second company in 2 years to add to the brand, with movement coming on that here at the later end of the year. And then finding, the consistency of finding the new talent that we found, finding guys like Corey McHenry, finding Sam
Or
Eli.
Sam Eli right there looking at you.
Yeah. Finding Sam Eli, with what a find, those two guys.
God, does Marshfield love them some Sam Eli?
They were, I was surprised. I felt like Sam might have been a little bit of like an even favorite with Ben Evenson going into that match.
Right.
Then the finish happened, and you could kind of tell that it was like our guy actually did it, and like there was a lot of people, and that's not a knock against Ben by any stretch of the imagination. It's just what a great moment for Sam. The kid's got a hell of a future. He's like all the young ones, they got to learn constructive criticism. But he's got such a great heart. He's so great, and he listens to everything, and everything you tell him, he takes it to heart, and he tries to improve immediately. You can't ask for a better person. I would recommend anybody to book Sam Eli. I don't think they'd be disappointed. I definitely think they'd be happy with what they got. What a great match between those three guys. They really, you want to talk about stepping up. Nell coming over from the Battle brand. Sam coming over from the Battle brand. Ben, on his second run as a champion, and from in the company now. Terrible way to end it, but like an excellent match. And one of the matches where like a lot of people look at that and they kind of raise their eyebrow and they're like, I don't know how that one's going to really go. There's a lot of eclectic style there, but it just goes to prove those guys are better than a lot of people give them credit for. So,
Yeah, Honor Bound seemed to push the envelope as each match went through. We talked about it on commentary. It's like we have a show of 8 main events and you can pick them, which is a nice problem to have. Also, as we parlay into August, we crowned the first ever Liberty Division champion, the first ever Liberty champ in
oh,
Rory
she is a
Shields.
mean girl, son of a
Jesus
bitch.
Christ. I'll tell you what, I have sat down with her in that ring twice to interview her. Didn't like either time.
I didn't she storm out on you this last
She
time?
literally stormed out,
So,
got up
man,
and left.
he like got her up and she just like straight up was like, nope, and like,
Just yeah. So
hey, was it?
certainly a little bit of a tumultuous relationship I have with her right now.
But God, is she good? The talent is there, man. That is. We couldn't have gotten luckier. And I got to shout out Annie O'Neill.
Yeah,
Annie
Annie.
O'Neill is the only reason that Frontline Pro was able to find Rory Shield. No Annie O'Neill, no Rory Shield. Annie, thank you.
Well,
the
we know
divine.
we know Annie is the official North Star of Frontline Pro. That has been well established since day one. And what a find also the Icebox Josie Valentine. What a performance.
Oh, okay. So I have a story for this.
She
Uh,
is a
ben Ben
she
got
is a
Ben
beast.
got humble pie. I got my favorite. One of my three favorite parts of Honor Bound was Josie Valentine giving me humble pie in the back locker room. She's gonna die that I'm telling this story. Uh, we were a few years back doing a show in Merrill, Wisconsin for Dave Hero, I believe, and they were all helping set up my ring and stuff. And her boyfriend at the time were there, and a couple other people, and like these guys were doing all this tearing down and setting up. And Ben was a jerk. I wasn't a good person. I go, everybody who's tearing down my ring, I'll give you a spot on one of my next Frontline shows. I gave everybody the dates. And then I walked back and I was like, any of the guys who helped, and I totally excluded her. I don't remember doing this. I'm not going to say Josie's lying though. I'm sure
Was
I
the
probably,
creator developing his character
for
at that
whatever
moment?
reason I did. This was back in like 2020 or 2021. This was like coming fresh out of the pan. This was
Yeah,
years
you were
ago.
pandemic crazy.
Oh, maybe so. I felt awful. And I'm like, she's telling me this. I'm like, this girl's about to tell me to go fuck myself. Like, and I'm gonna deserve it. Like, all right, here we go. Like, I'm just gonna like just smile when she says it and just don't be mad. Like, and she goes, and you told me that I wasn't good. You told everybody else that they could get a spot except for me. And I just wanted to tell you thank you because that drove me. That made me I use that as motivation and fuel every day to get to this point because I said one day I'm going to work for you, Ben McCoy, and you don't got a choice. I'm going to be good enough to work for you. And she goes, and now here I am, and my debut is a one-on-one match with Rory for the title to start the division. Like, what a great, life has a way of finding something out. I'm so happy that life figured that out for Josie.
I
I'm
hope that
so
Josie's going to be
mortified that
back
I
at
did
Liberty
that.
Bells.
It's terrible. It's so bad. But it was a wonderful story to be told by her. I was so happy to have her on board. She's full time with us going forward. Happy to have her on board.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was hoping that we would get to see her again at the Liberty Bell show.
1000%. Oh, we have just gotten the start of Josie Valentine in Frontline Pro. There's going to be a lot of Josie coming, in the future for everybody. I don't think her and Rory Shield are done one iota.
No.
I think you saw it with the Jay Michaels and the Kane.
Yeah,
There's a lot
Jay Michaels should be a little nervous that Josie's coming back because not
honest with you,
very happy.
hurt that man, and I'm all for it. I just like watching people like him get beat up.
Yes,
If
as do I.
Josie doing it, all the better.
It's good time.
Um,
Make that white suit a little dirtier. I'm all for that. Um, Another thing that came up at Honor Bound, not even uh related to the show, was the acquisition of a new brand, a new company, bringing home, partnering up, bringing home a separate entity, which I thought was a bold move. Talk about that a little bit.
uh, so legally, there's parameters I can't quite talk about. Things have to be signed. We
You
have we
can
have a lot of
speak in
stuff.
generalities.
We have stuff on paper and we have things ready to go. But as far as what we're doing, uh, we realize I think one of the biggest things that we do at Frontline Pro is we never stop critiquing ourselves and trying to figure out how to do things better. I think we all agreed, me and the partners in the beginning of the year that like there was, we took a real big swing. We had a really aggressive promotional campaign, and we ran a ton of shows. I mean, we ran so many in the spring here, and it caused a little bit of burnout on me and on the guys, and that's fine. That's expected. But I think the most part was, we realized that we were actually creating brand confusion by having like, well, there's this and there's that and there's this and there's that, but it's all frontlining. You didn't know what you were watching. It was like, is this the one that has Ali and Avalon, or is this the one that has, you know, Godfather and Disco Ray? We don't know. Like that's which one is which. And so to combat that, you know, I've always had a great working relationship with Ben Evenson and with Kat. We go back a lot of years. Ben and I go back 20, and it's a great thing to have. They're awesome. And then again, it's an acquisition that we look forward to finalizing here in the summer. We look forward to hopefully relaunching the brand as soon as possible, because uh, we do believe in the value of it and a lot of what we can do with Ben and them going forward. And as far as Frontline Pro, what we get out of it is just the opportunity to to showcase a great brand with great talent under the umbrella of our thing, to say, hey, you know, it's us, but it's not. Here's people you can't see when you come to Bakerville. Here's people you can't see. And the primary thing was looking at the Wausau shows and shows in, like, when we go to the Fox Valley, when we go to these other places. The goal was to find uh you know an entity that we could use that wasn't named Frontline Pro, that held up the traditions and the values of the company that we have, and was able to help us still run the amount of shows we wanted to run without creating brand confusion. I think that's what helped everybody involved. The deal came together very swiftly at Honor Bound, and we walked away with everybody very happy with what was on the table. I don't see anything getting in the way of it, but I'm always the guy that it's not final until the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. That said, I don't see anything transversely happening when it comes to that acquisition. And yeah, it's just with getting No Regrets Wrestling last year and acquiring the rights from Red and them. What a great thing that turned out to be, finding the Wausau market because of them, having Red be a great, production staff member, and also being in the office with running, the shows as show running with me and Dukes. He's been invaluable. So the one little nugget I'll give you today is that because of this, and with all of Red's success, him and I had and this is the other Red, not you, Red. This is my. I couldn't get you, so I got my own Red. But he's got red hair, so it works. And so
Kind of an ebony and ivory situation.
yes. So his name is Taylor, but Taylor has been amazing. He started No Regrets. And because of everything, we had a great talk today. So I'm happy to announce here live on your show that on top of relaunching Ben and Kat's brand, which is, I'm trying to not say the words so I can keep everything legally kosher. But after that, the other thing we wanted to do was also work with No Regrets again, and find something special to do with the roster that had put that company together. So instead of letting the NRW logo just sit there and rest, we've decided that starting in March of next year, we will be doing a one night only event for No Regrets Wrestling under the Frontline Pro banner in Baraboo, Wisconsin. And we're in the very infancy stages of it. It's going to be very fun. My goal is to have this be a yearly bash for No Regrets, to celebrate the life and times of the company when it was running full time. I think for Frontline Pro, it gives us an extra reach into the Baraboo area, and pushes us farther south towards the Madison area, which is the goal as we move our move some of our company shows to Wisconsin Dells for 2026. And yeah, lots of moving and shaking, but it was a wonderful acquisition. It's really good for Frontline Pro. You never think that you're going to get bigger, and then you do. And I'm excited for the future. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really great to write too.
So, obviously taking a step back from the in-ring performance, you will be more into the writing and the production and that part of the business. So, although one aspect of your situation might have said farewell, Ben McCoy will still be actively participating in Frontline Pro. As I said in that interview, when you look at that yellow logo, we see you. And that was a very important distinction to make, because, there's no Frontline without Bulletproof Ben McCoy, and that is a documented fact. So you'll still be there doing what you do, just not flying through the air with the greatest of ease for a while, perhaps.
Yeah, I think my mind and my creativity is the best thing I have to offer Frontline Pro right now. I think that's going to be the thing that gets us to the next level. I, you know, there's nothing like performing. You'll never find anything like it. You'll always miss it. But for me, it becomes a fact in a point of, eventually you got to get off the train. Eventually you're going to run out of stories to tell for yourself. And eventually your body is going to, and Father Time's going to tap you on the shoulder and tell you that that's enough. And I've always promised myself I wouldn't be the guy that held on too long and held on too tight and just rode it out into his 50s. Like I can't do that. I can't be the guy that, I felt completely out of shape in that match on Saturday. And I'm working with two bad knees. So like you're just trying to get through it. And yeah, I will say that another piece of finality that I thought of that was fun. My daughter Verona and my little girls Marin and Ireland both were like, you should wear something special, and they were the reason I went back to when you see the picture, I'm wearing the old Irish Mickey McCoy singlet from when I used to work with C-Red and Elite Pro Wrestling for the Tomasellis, and yeah, and all the old days back in the Chicago times. Man, that was a fun time. So I busted out the old Mickey McCoy singlet because it was like 20 years in the business. You might as well do it now. That was fun to kind of have. And just that little nod, that's just kind of like a little nod for me. There was a few guys there in the locker room that like it was awesome because like I walked up and they're like, "What are you wearing? Like you're wearing like you're not gonna fight in street clothes." And I like lifted up my shirt and they saw the singlet and uh like there's a few people that were like, "Man," like Jared Jacks knew about it obviously. I showed Joey Avalon, remembered those days and he was like, "Oh man, there was just a few other guys that kind of remembered that. So it was nice to have that little thing. Um, but going forward, there's so much to write. We have so much to do. We have so many new characters coming. We're going to be introducing female valets. We're trying to bring back the valet position to pro wrestling. Like tried to bring back the manager position by getting AJ and Striker and Jay Michaels. So like we're really trying to we want to round ourselves out a lot. I'm excited about writing a bunch of storylines. I'm excited to see where a lot of people go. Like, there's characters I can't wait to see where they go. I can't wait to see where Kid Lack goes. God, I'll say it now because I'm not wrestling at the moment, so I can say this. But my daughter Ireland's favorite wrestler of all time is Kid Lack. She makes comic books in her notebooks about adventures that she goes on with him and Adonis Allen as Thunder and Lightning, and they have she saved power plants with them, and she saved skyscrapers with them, and to my daughter Ireland, and so for that, I love them just based on principle alone. But personally, especially the little tiny one in the yellow, uh, uh, man, I don't think I've ever had a more favorite character to write in my entire 20 years than man that I just keep thinking about him. I just never have had a character that has been that fun, just that ungodly. You're 10 years old watching Saturday morning cartoons fun,
He
and
is absolutely that. But, a little bit of tough sledding perhaps for the young man
oh
because
man,
Marshfield wasn't very kind to him after what happened with Josh Price.
I got a feeling that Kid Lat's going to grow up a little bit here in the future. I think there's going to be some growing pains. I think he's going to have to learn that not everybody deals in superhero logic, and what do you do when a kid like that who believes in truth and justice and doing the right thing and always trying to help your friends, and that's what he was trying to do in my opinion. He was trying to help his friend.
Does this mean you are going to Uncle Ben him, pun
Oh my god,
intended, with great power comes great responsibility?
I think he could do way better than me.
I
I
don't
don't
know. If
I,
you suddenly become the Uncle Ben character,
oh
you
man,
could just get the story writes itself.
just don't let me get shot outside of a Macho Man match, okay? That's all I'm asking for.
You keep booking Aaron Xavier, and it just might happen.
Oh, you never know with that guy. Man, by the way, talk about a head that you can enjoy DDTing. He sure has one.
Because it's so full of shit that it kind of squishes when you drop it.
You can literally hear this. You can hear the slosh as
Yes.
you hits the
Yes, you
mat.
can.
Pretty solid.
Yes, you
Uh,
can.
what a great heel though. What a great heel. What a good guy to bring in and have for that spot, especially when you look at Aaron's track record and where he was at with his career and stuff by his own admission, just trying to like, you know, wind down and just find things he likes to do. And then, at no point was he looking for this massive arc of like, what if this world existed? And so he was all game for it. Working with him was good, and it was also a learning experience because not everybody works together the same way, especially when you've never worked with anybody before. Like those first times and learning things, there's learning curves. There's adjustments that have to be made. But I thought, and especially with Rob getting hurt and changing so much at the end there, we got really lucky with who we had. But yeah, it was fun to work with him as the bad guy. It was fun for him to be down to the last two with him. But yeah, it was good. That was you can't ask for much more than as a good guy. You just really need a really good bad guy. And sometimes you get lucky, you find one, and so I was
Yeah,
just really lucky to find some really
you
good bad guys.
definitely found a good one. And something tells me that your dance with Aaron Xavier, as much as you're saying that the time has passed, there's just something about the way he manipulates. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Uh,
Be careful because he is a vindictive son of a bitch. Nobody knows that better than me.
I'm sure he is, but look, hey, we got Draven Stryker as the general manager now for that. He'll
I'm
handle.
warming up to it. I didn't like it at first.
He'll,
I was hesitant against it. Don't trust him, but so far so good with the new GM. I'm on board.
I'm hoping that it really is a turned over leaf when it comes to Draven Stryker. But as far as Aaron Xavier goes, um, I consider it closed, man. I consider that chapter closed. I don't have any interest going down that road again. I don't think there's anything more final than hitting him with an Irish spike and then dropping him with a DDT. Uh,
The
you know,
funeral's happening. It's just not mine.
right. What a good line. uh, who says Ben doesn't know one-liners every now and then?
It worked out pretty well.
It worked out really, really great. But what a great night overall. It wasn't just that match, man. I feel like we're underselling the night because I got to tell you, like Warhorse, the Nihilist, Jake Parnell, and Josh Price was insane. In any other format, that would have closed the show. No doubt about it. There he is, the new Frontline Pro World Heavyweight Champion, Jake Parnell. That is a bad man. You want to talk about good bad guys? I mean, this guy hasn't lost ever here. He's
Yeah.
come in three separate occasions before his full run with us and won all three. And those three, the guys he beat, they weren't nobodies. He's beaten Logan Lynch's and he's beaten Joey Avalon's and he's beating, he's not beating side guys. He's beating the best we have to throw at him. And then you
I
look at
don't
his
think
run.
anyone ever forgets his match with Sierra.
That's what I'm saying. He comes here, and the first thing he does in August of last year is he beats Joey Avalon, first night in the company. What does he do the very next month? He wins his night for, or excuse me, that was night for Tyler. He wrestled Joey. Then he comes back in October and gets another win. Then he comes back in November for Freedom Cup and he wins the whole damn thing. Then we don't have him for December because he's off doing international travel stuff. And ever since that point, the man doesn't lose. Like you can hate him, you cannot like him, but this is a guy that reminds me of the Iceman character from Top Gun. He will sit there and dick with you until you are fucking bored and you make a mistake. And the second you make a mistake, he's got you. And that's it. It's over. And you don't got to like his tactics. I don't. A lot of people don't. But you can't argue the results. And the results is that picture is obsolete because that man is no longer the world champion and Jake Parnell is.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's a
you know,
problem. He's going to be a problem. There's no doubt about that. Great champion, I'm sure he'll be, but a problem nonetheless.
and then what about Jared and Shaq for the Bakerville championship? Jared Jacks versus Shaq Jordan was incredible. Those guys, I mean, to the minuscule, like to the just like to get that close. And you got to admit, at the end there, you thought Jared had Shaq. There, like you can't tell me that you thought that he was going to pull it out. And then left field, there's the kid just finds a way. I look at Shaq Jordan, a little Bret Hart that way. Is he has this uncanny ability to take a licking but keep on ticking like a Timex watch, and that there it is, and that's the man right there. And one of the from a kid who came in just looking for a spot to now, besides Quinn Whittick, if you look at it on paper, he's the most decorated wrestler we have. Bakerville champion, Intrepid champion, heavyweight champion, the breakout tournament winner, the Freedom Cup 2023 winner.
What, he a two-time Freedom Cup?
No two time. We don't have.
Oh, that's what he was going for. Warhorse stopped for being. That's
yes,
right.
Warhorse. He almost had it, and again, and like you just said, he made it to the finals this year and almost repeated.
Right.
Like the dude is just. In my personal opinion, he should be on Fridays or Mondays, and at very worst case Wednesdays. He's that good. There's no holes. He listens. He's adaptable. That's just an incredible talent there, and that's a guy that I'm proud that Frontline. If you're going to ask me like who's your pillars, there's absolutely no way in hell I don't say that Shaq Jordan isn't one. So officially, I do say that yes, one of the pillars of Frontline Pro is Shaq Jordan. There's no doubt about it.
He swings a mean chair. That's for sure.
My God, before we go any farther, really quick, just on a side note, are you okay from Aaron Stone totally falafeling you like you went to a Waffle House brawl at 3:45 in the morning?
Did you like that?
He hit you with the chair going up and down.
Yes. Yeah.
Red look. Oh, see, I'm not nuts.
Red was on commentary. Red knew what happened.
Live and in person.
Saying that's not safe. I'm just saying, damn.
Yeah. That hurt. The concerto hurt just a little bit more. So we won't be doing that anymore. Let's put it that way. That cured my desire right quick.
I would stick to the commentary stuff where you can do all your power with a pen, man. You're really good at that. And I don't want to ever see you get hit like that again. I mean, I hit you. And I'm not going to say that I don't understand why he hit you. There's a certain level of joy that comes with that.
That's fair. That's fair indeed.
But damn, no. So anyways, just making sure you're okay there.
I had a hell of a time though. You know what? To be the last in-ring performance for me, it was, talk about going out in a magical moment. It really was. So I'm good. I'm glad I have the experience because you get a chance to look at it from inside the ring perspective. Makes me more useful on commentary because I get it.
Absolutely. I just you look at all the matches and everything, and you have that kind of experience of like that finality too, of like leaving and when like, hey, this was good, and it's not sad. It's just like, hey, this was good. It kind of feels like moving out of an apartment that you had for a real long time.
When you say you just can't imagine it being better than that. I had friends and family in the audience. It was a big moment. The knockouts were my lumberjills, and it was one of those moments where everything kind of came together for me in one moment. I didn't win the match, but that wasn't the important thing. The important thing was being there and being a part of it for the company I was working for. Felt like one of the guys. So it was a good moment for me. And, like you said, it would take a very extraordinary situation to want me to do something else that's not that. So I get I really understand what you say when I believe what you say when you say it.
No, that's not to say, like I said, but I hate to say, I don't like goodbyes. I don't, like I said on that promo, I don't believe in goodbyes. It's we'll see. It's sometime, and down the road and later. That type of a concept with me. I'm not saying that there's, because I sit here and you think about it and like, yeah, there's people I'd still like to get in there with. I can think of like. I would. It's dumb. I don't know why, but I'd love to fight Kevon Lee one time. I know I'm dumb. I know Ben's got a death wish.
What? I'm the same way. If Marche Rocket said, "Hey, I'd like to fight you," I don't know how I turn that down because I absolutely adore him.
And I know this is going to come out of left field, but like, just to test it, just to see if it's the real deal. Like, I go one-on-one with Sierra. I'd wrestle her.
Oh, come on now. You don't want that. You don't come on now. Come on now. You don't want that smoke.
As a competitive, if we with no like gumption behind it, if it was two people like shake my hand, let's see how this goes. I'd be down for that. That'd be one. And then I keep thinking,
if Van Dam needs a tag team partner, you're showing up.
But the last of the three for me that would really like kind of like really make me kind of want to like think about something. I'm gonna give him way too much hope for this though. It'd probably be Sam. It'd probably be Sam Eli.
Now Sam will watch this at some point, and he's gonna come looking for that match.
And in no way is that a challenge to you, Samuel, in any way.
That sounded like a challenge.
No, not at all. That's just like it's a lot more of like, you always like to play fantasy booker of like, well, if you did, who would it be? What would you think? And the first three people that come to my mind are those three, and then the last two is the guy on the screen, Shaq. I would love to get in there. I'd love to give Shaq a match he deserves, not hit him in the face with a screwdriver.
That was a bad scene right there.
Up for that one someday. And then Backwoods Brown. Kay is that's a bad man.
That's my boy.
He's so good though.
And the thing that sucks is we're rubbernecked. We're 2-2 against each other out of 4. And
now you need to do it.
So I can see that stupidly escalating into something. But
you'll end up at Blizzard Brawl if you keep talking like that.
Oh, no. That, like I said, it's just those are the fun ones. You think of everybody else that you'd love to have one more with, but then you think about that, and it's like, well, Christ, if I wanted to do that, I'd have 50, But it was a fun run. I had a great time. If it is done, it doesn't feel like when I left the first time in 10, and I felt like it was ripped away from me. It wasn't like when I walked away for the personal reasons in 21. It wasn't like walking away from the knee surgery. Those were different. This felt a lot more on my terms, what I wanted. This almost happened 2 years ago at Honor Bound in Appleton when we in 23. We did the whole thing where it actually turned out to start the story with the Gavin, where I took my boots off and there was a moment in there where I told Gavin and everybody in the ring that, like, we might not do the angle at all. I might just take my shit off and just be done. Like, there was even like, we had like a hand signal of like if I sent this hand signal to him, it just said stay out of the ring. But so we got another 2 years. I can't, like, how can you complain where you're like, I was done 2 years ago, and like now, but there's still gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
You rode off into the sunset like the cowboy on a horse. That's what you did.
We're gonna hope that it's a nice sunset ride, man. Because it's really time for all these other guys. We have, like we've talked about all night, it's an amazing roster. The triple threat match with Evenson and them, and Sam becoming champion was great at Honor Bound. You look at, Dante Casanova stepping up against Cody Jacobs and them having an NWA championship match, not even announced on the card, just, hey, you want the NWA Midwest title? I'll fight you right now, and puts the title on the line right then and there. What a great guy. And then he beats him and retains. So Dante was awesome there. And that was after having to change everything, because we had Justin Fowler with a broken back, and we have Rita Atlas getting in a car accident, and me listening to the cops push his car off to the side of the highway, and everything in between, that we had such a mix of people that change. But man, you want to talk about, I got to give C-Red the biggest of all ups, which is, boy howdy did Marche Rocket come in last minute and save Frontline Pro Bacon, because Marche was supposed to come in to work Fowler, because we lost Gringo Loco to AEW. Like, we're losing guys to AEW, and that's why we can't have them on our show. So, like,
but at least Mrs. Gringo was there with the lights and the fireworks. That was tremendous.
Mrs. Gringo, Amber, you are an angel and a saint.
She's such a great person. Love Amber.
Makes us all look like studs. So, but I just, that match with Marche and Kevon Lee to start the night, I don't think we could. And heads up, and a big thumbs up to Jason Dukes for having, he was the guy who said they should go first. And I was like, but man, we couldn't have done it any better. It was the best. I mean, you want to talk about just old school Illinois versus Wisconsin Midwest rivalry. I mean, I don't know. There was something behind that. It felt. I mean, I know you saw it, Steve. It kind of felt Packers Bears esque. I mean,
It did.
there was like the young lion coming up and the old lion looking at him and be like, "Oh, you think so? You think today's your day?" And the young lion's like, "Yeah, old man,
In
today's
the
my
end,
day."
unfortunately, Marche didn't have enough sweetness to get the victory. But when was the last time Marche Rocket started any show? I mean,
Ah,
let's be honest. That's why Honor Bound was so big. Marche Rocket opening a show. If
yeah.
you have that much talent that Marche Rocket is match one, what does that say about everything else that comes
And he
after it?
crushed it. Without Marche, we don't get that. We don't get that run. We don't have. I mean, you want to. I don't care what anybody says. Match one is the most important match on a card besides the main event because you set the tone for the whole rest of the show.
Oh, they set the tone.
I think everybody saw that and was like, all right, we're going to do that too. You
Yeah,
know,
these guys aren't playing tonight.
no, and what a great show. It was definitely our WrestleMania. You felt it. Every match was good. There was nothing that fell apart. You know, Corey McHenry retaining the Intrepid over
The
Devlin.
only champion to retain a
The
title.
only one. The money
The
stayed.
one.
He's the only one. And then you see our art department makes him his own special graphic, the still graphic, because all the new champions, he must have felt left out and called somebody because the next thing you know,
Well, he had some pretty influential guys walk out behind him when he got introduced. So, if those
poor
two guys are
Malachi
going
with
to
the
come
gun
out and shoot the
malfunction.
money cannons, you're doing all right.
Yeah, when you got the partners in there being your hype men, you got a pretty solid spot on the card.
And poor Malachi's gun didn't work.
No,
What
poor
a
Malachi.
terrible situation for him.
That was too funny though. But no, and again, it was a great night. Happy we're done. Happy to have 2 months off. But working on Liberty Bells as we speak. Crossfire is done and in the cannon, ready to go. Night for Tyler's in the cannon, ready to go. We're working on Unsanctioned right now, which has been just ridiculously fun. And we're just starting today. I made my first phone call today to announce our first participant in the Freedom Cup for this year.
Oh,
And I'm going
boy.
to get that exclusive right now. The very first participant in the 2025 Frontline Pro Freedom Cup is Backwoods Brown.
Yes.
Can you imagine if Backwoods Brown wins the Freedom Cup? Holy shit.
And on top of that, we are happy to announce that the Freedom Cup will be adopting the traditional King of the Ring format as we will go to 8 competitors, all vying in singles competition to the finals to crown the one true and only Freedom Cup winner. The winner of that tournament will main event Honor Bound next year for our WrestleMania show, much like Jake Parnell did, and we'll head down that road starting there. The other thing that I am happy to announce is that at Crossfire, I'm going to give you the main event. At Crossfire on August 30th, the Warhorse, the Nihilist, Jake Parnell, the Commissar himself, will defend the Frontline Pro World Heavyweight Champion chip. See, got to keep the whole thing in there. Against the Meat Sauce, Josh Price, in a rematch from Honor Bound.
Wow.
As Josh Price has officially cashed in his contractually obligated championship rematch as being the former champion.
Boy, Josh has got a chip on his shoulder. And, if he doesn't eat Kid Lat before that, maybe Kid Lat will be around. Maybe they'll mend the fences. C Red has been sitting there very patiently. I have not let him ask a single question because, again, Ben, you and I, we have this thing. But Red, I'm going to let you take it from here with the bulletproof one. Go.
I mean, shit. What do you want me to say when you say every goddamn thing? Um, First of all, I am very pleased, Ben, that Honor Bound was such a huge success. Um, I get the storytelling, um, and I totally agree. As far as most, shit, some companies don't even do 3 months. They started this month, it ends next month, and then it's whatever, and it's like, what the hell? That's it. Um, I worked for a company and I could never understand like why we were booked so sporadically. And I sat down with the owner, and this is on the East Coast. And he told me, he says, because I write my shows out a year in advance. And like, I just thought that was so far, like, it blew my mind.
Mhm.
I grew up where, guess what? Um, as much as I love him, Sam DeCero, hey, uh, if you weren't one of the main guys, you're doing this month, next month, I don't know. And then you show up, it's like, oh, you're doing that. And it was like, huh? Last month that guy was a heel, now he's a face. Like, what the hell? So storytelling was far, far fetched. So to see somebody like yourself actually putting thought into these stories and understands you want to get, you want to get your money out of it. That's how you get the people invested, you know, like, oh, okay, I got to keep coming back to see what happens. Like, oh, Ben's a good guy. Yeah, I like Ben. Yeah, he's an asshole. Oh, fuck Ben. Oh shit, I want to see him get his.
That was a rough period. That was a
They
rough
kicked
period.
it. They kicked his ass. What? Huh? Oh, I'm back on Ben's side. Yeah. So I applaud you for the year-long storytelling. Um, to bring your children has to be more satisfying than most people know.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
to when I took my sabbatical, I thought the best way to end it was with my stepson. Only because of I had all girls, so nobody was getting in the ring, so that shit was like, okay. But to end it with him, and like he doesn't call me, he calls me pops, and I call him son. So to end with him, um, like it was a special kind of feeling, and like even now, um, the only reason why I'm doing the things that I'm doing is because of him, is because I want to see him succeed, but I have so much fun being with him because it brings out something in me. Like, it's that father son bond, and it's like, shit, I had all girls, now I get to have that boy. I can't throw the football, but guess what, we can have that moment. So I get it. So to see that, because I asked Steve last week, I was like the first thing I asked him, who was the fourth person? Like, I couldn't recognize your son. And I'm like he looks familiar, but I can't tell. And it was only that one picture of when he came out. And I'm
Ah,
like, who is the guy? Who is it? And then Steve told me. And I was like, what? And I had to like blow it up and, you know, like, oh shit.
Place went absolutely crazy.
But to have that moment, like, and here's breaking the fourth wall. Like, you knew it, but I'm sure what you thought you would feel compared nothing to when he came out, got that reception, and now everybody's looking at the family, the real family,
yeah.
being bonded together. And it was like, oh shit, that's it. money right there. Take it. Go ahead. We love it. So, and then just at the end, like I could see the pride, but I could also see the emotion on your face when Rion posted the picture earlier of all of you guys in the ring. Like if you're a parent and you've done this, there's nothing better than to this picture right here to have your children there at that moment.
Not a dry eye in the house.
That's
What a great picture, huh? What a great photo. I've been truly blessed to have wrestling capture major moments of my life in picture art form, and that one might be the best one ever. It's Gavin is special because it wasn't supposed to happen. Here's something nobody knows. The day of the show of Honor Bound, that morning when I woke up, Gavin was not the fourth man. Gavin was not the fourth man until 2:30 in the afternoon, the day of Honor Bound, 3.5 hours before the show.
wow.
I know that to be true.
And it took Tyler and Malachi making me make one more phone call after I was like, I said no like 6 times. Because obviously Gavin was always somebody that I would want. Who wouldn't want to have their son? And for whatever reason, thank my lucky stars, he decided, to say yes. And we moved things appropriately and made sure the person that was the original fourth man was taken care of. Because I don't believe in people losing spots. And luckily for that person, it worked out great. And
it worked out great. It worked out very well.
Yeah, it worked out. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Couldn't have worked out better for that man.
Could not have worked out better for that man. It worked out for everybody involved. It was the right move. It was the right play. But to close down with Gavin after being tag team champions with him in Frontline, being the McCoys, doing the father-son angle, and to have him come back, and then for him to be good, he wasn't bad. Not
no
bad.
Ring rust.
He never wrestling.
And if you look in that picture, you even got Joey Avalon wiping a tear or two from his eye.
He's a
if
big.
If you made that crotchety old bastard cry a little bit, that's powerful stuff.
I don't think he was crying at all. I think that was just jet engine fuel leaking out of his face.
It might be right.
But no, he again, it was, you can't ask for anything better than that. Leaving with your kids, especially when they're the reason. I write the stories I write for my daughters. I write the characters I write for my son and my daughters and my parents and my nieces and my nephews. And this is very much a family event because the stuff we write is for family. Like, that's the point. And I specifically went and got Disco Ray because my mom said, you don't have any guy from the 70s and I have nobody to cheer. And that's my favorite decade. And that's why Disco Ray is in Frontline Pro. And thank God, because then he comes in and he's just did you see his Honor Bout outfit? Holy damn. He went extra. I was like, you look like I should hang you from a chandelier top.
Everybody went extra at Honor Bound. Everybody, which is what made it the night that it was.
Absolutely. And so you just have, there's the bald son of a gun right there. You just have lucky moments, and you do it for family, and you try to, what I love about Frontline is you don't have to worry about, if you want to bring your kid or your nephew or your friends from work and their kid that you didn't know what else to take them to or whatever. Like, I think that's where we fall into your entertainment genre. I think Frontline Pro is the company where we have a universal audience. Our audience isn't specifically garnered to an age demographic. We have nights for that. Unsanctioned is, probably going to be 18 and up. We're probably going to get pretty freaking nuts. It's probably going to be pretty bad. We're not even putting the traditional numbers on this show. It's not even getting the traditional numbers.
Nice.
Like, we're literally, it's and Rhino's coming to that, and it's like, well, Rhino's coming to dinner. Who wants to fight that man beast? Like, there's a lot there, and yeah, it's just, man, what a fun time to be in Frontline Pro. We're very lucky. It's all about family and just being able to do stuff moving forward. And then the biggest thing for me is, you know, it all comes down to, you know, the employees, the people that you have, and I'm not just talking the staff or the roster. I'm talking all of them collectively as one. You know, the production staff, Steve, obviously that you're a very big part of. You know, the logistical staff that again you are very much a part of. The on-air staff, which again you are very much a part of. But then you have the talent, and you have, you know, the commentary team and the referees, and you know everybody does. You know, we have, you know, the stage runners with Alicia Jensen, and with Taylor, you know, with, you know, Duke's doing the DOC job, you know, the commentary team with you, Chris and Annie. And it just, you know, everybody we picked was perfect for the role. The reason I think Frontline does as well as it does is because we've done this excellent job of amassing a collection of eclectic talent that's kind of unmatched when you look at it compared to other companies. Um, and we're very lucky to have that. But I think it's about finding the right people, the people that fit the vision of Frontline Pro. You want people that have the same morals and values as you do. You want to have people that live their lives to a certain set of standards and codes like you do, so that you know that what's being presented to your audience is true and genuine and honest. And you know, some girls, you know, when they restart their lives, they get a little blue dress and they start all over. And you know, for me, I'm a dude, so I got a new pair of boots, and I'm gonna break them in and start the new adventure with them, and take off from there. And you know, I'm proud to say that I applied to go back to college yesterday and was
Saw
accepted. And
that.
yep, so I'll be returning to college here this fall, and I'm excited to say I'm going to be going into creative writing and business administration. So I'm pretty jazzed to take skills and classes that I can use to better Frontline Pro in the future, both creatively and financially and business wise. And you know, from there, you know, working on getting a new house, and you know, working on hanging out with my dog, and you know, doing a couple other creative writing projects that aren't wrestling related. It's kind of fun to, you know, work on a screenplay with a buddy, and to work on you know, to work on just randomly work on a song with another buddy. And I'm not a songwriter, so it's just like a weird eclectic thing to go do. And you know, writing, you know, just you know, literature ratings with a group of friends, and things like that. It's just it's accumulated a lot of my time. I find myself keeping busy, but you know, life has a lot of struggles. There's a lot of strife. There's a lot of shit we all got to get through. I'm not immune to that. Unfortunately, you know, as we all know, my life is a little more public than most people. So when things happen in my life, it's broadcast to a larger set of audience than the average person. And you know, I've had a lot of people ask me if it bothers me or if I'm upset about it. And I mean, on a human level, of course, but you know, as far as from a professional standpoint or anything like that, you know, Frontline Pro is Frontline Pro. Ben Monty is Ben Monty. Ben McCoy is Ben McCoy. But I'm going to say this: that while we're all closely tied together, you know, anything that happens in my personal life has nothing to do with Frontline Pro. You know, I feel like that the company itself is such its own living and breathing entity that it deserves everybody's attention, and the opportunity should be given to it by everyone to view it, and make their own judgment as to what it is and how good it is, and whether or not they like it or not. And yeah, I think that's just you know, that's kind of my official statement on my life. You know, I'm figuring things out. I'm getting through it. I got, like I said, I got a great support system. I got great people around me. I got a great family, and I'm lucky to be where I'm at. So, you know, going forward, it's all going to be about creating and doing positive things and making positive things and figuring out new ways to entertain everybody, and figuring out new stories to get everybody to love, and to have fun doing it. So that's my life in a nutshell.
What a
Well,
difference. Go ahead, Red.
well, I know, I know you personally, man,
Yeah.
and we've known each other shit for years.
Yes.
So if I had to cash in and put all my chips on something, it would definitely be uh you.
Oh,
Uh
thank you.
we I've had to overcome some of those same obstacles. Wasn't fun, wasn't, pretty. Um, and I'm gonna be honest, at one point I was like, shit, I'm never gonna recover. Like I, this is it. And I look at where I'm at now. I'm not at the best place I want to be. Uh, Even had a tragedy happen yesterday. Uh, but uh, I keep realizing I'm here for a reason. And I've never figured out what that reason is. I've never, I'm not the guy that goes to God and says, what is this reason? Uh, I figure when my book is finally closed and that back cover is closed shut, uh, that whatever my legacy is, uh, people will already know. So again, if I can say anything, I would just simply say, you got this. Uh, and enjoy your time, bro, because
Yes.
I'm
That's
gonna
the
be
hope.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. Everybody laughs at me. Do I miss wrestling every fucking weekend? Of course I do. But you
You
know what
just
I love
wrestled. You
more?
just wrestled. You just wrestled. Like a
Whatever.
week ago, you just wrestled.
Special Olympics. Special Olympics. My students. You know what I love to do now on the weekends? I love to take naps. That's what
Hey,
I do now.
there is
I
nothing
I,
wrong with a good nap.
I take naps. Me and my wife watch 2020 or Dateline.
Well, that'll
And
get
guess
that'll put
what?
you to sleep.
No, it's just, dude, first of all, I love all this shit. She has me watching this shit, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? This is some messed up people. But then next thing I know, she's like, are you ready? Ready for it's our nap time. Okay. And I feel great. Like I love it because I love naps now. Like
Yes.
naps are
Yes.
it.
All of that picture right there. Yes.
Hey, until you take a nap, you
Don't you
can't
not?
judge me. Don't judge me. You take a nap. Take a nap. Then you won't
I
look
tell you
like
what,
that.
you take a nap with your wife, Red. I bet you even have a better time because that will make sure that in case you get cold, she come put the blanket over top of you,
Oh no,
take
oh
good
hell
care
no,
of
because
you.
she uses heated blankets.
Oh, here
And
we
I'm
go.
like, oh hell no. So you stay on your side, I stay on my side, and we just take a nap. We actually I don't have a problem saying it. Prayers out to my grandson and his stepbrother. We left the hospital and we came back and we looked at each other and we said, you know what time it is? And I said, yeah, it's our nap time. We're not taking a nap right now. This is throwing us off so much uh, because we should be napping right now. It's 4:30. We should be napped, like out. But yes, I
That
love
picture.
naps.
Oh,
I
that
love
picture.
naps. You know,
And that's great, but Rihanna is doing you real dirty right now. Look at that.
I'm not worried about Rihanna because Rihanna don't take a nap.
That's the face you get, Rihanna, when you don't take naps, right there.
That's
That's the
right.
Right,
face.
right. Take a
That,
nap.
that's real. Ben, it is a joy to hear positivity coming from you in the wake of everything that you've been through, both personal and professional.
Well, thank
Uh,
you.
I consider you a friend, you're a colleague, your family, and your health and well-being mean a great deal to me. And I know you've still got work to do and a ways to go, and it's not going to be an easy road, but you're a man of good conscience. And I think for a man of good conscience, you will walk the road and you will come out on the other side better than you started. And I look forward to many, many more nights starting on August 9th at Liberty Bells
Yes.
of working with you and for you. You're one of the best, and we always appreciate you taking time for us.
I appreciate you having me. We'll end this one with a Bret Hart line just for C-Red. In Bret Hart's Hall of Fame induction in 2006, he had a great line that I thought really summed up life. And I think a lot of us wrestlers and people in the wrestling community and just people in general can take it to heart because it really does hold a lot of weight, in my opinion. And it goes, as you walk through life, you'll learn that the things you really needed to get through it and the things that you really needed to succeed were inside of you all along from the get-go. And that instead of going out and looking other places for the things you need to fix your life or your problems or to get to where you got to go, just maybe sometimes take that moment, bet on yourself, look inside and see if it's in there already, because I think a lot of people would be surprised at how often it is that it is there instead of not. So I leave you guys with that. I appreciate you both, and I wish you both the best of journeys.
Ben McCoy, a class act. Let's say it. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much. Have a great night.
See you guys.
Go take a nap.
Naps are great. Naps are great.
All right, that was uplifting, and that man has walked through a river of shit of late. More power to him for being as positive as he is. And he didn't talk a lot about it, but his daughter Verona is becoming one of the quintessential ring announcers that I work with. And she's still in high school, so I can only imagine if she continues down this road at Frontline, she may end up on Mondays or Fridays at some point. She's that good. Frontline Pro returns August 9th, Liberty Bells. It is the first Frontline Pro all-women show. Rory Shield will be there. Josie Valentine will be there. I'm hoping that both of those people will be on this show before year's end, and I think they will. So look forward to that. I talked to Cactus. She might be stopping by at 8 o'clock to talk a little knockouts. So what I want to talk about now, just for a few minutes, got a phone call when I was at my son's graduation on Sunday, and it was from Braun the Lumberjack. And I'm like, well, why is Braun calling me? I work on his cars from time to time, so I thought maybe he had a car problem. Or, I have heard inklings of unrest, and I thought maybe he was calling to see what I heard or what I know. I was wrong on both counts. Braun called me and said, hey, can you come work at ARW on June 13th? So I had an open date. So finally, after many years of thinking that I should go work there at some point, I get a chance to go work there at ARW on Friday, June 13th, day after my 55th birthday. I'm making a debut at a company that I never thought I'd get to work for. So that is ironic. I'll be working with Jay City on the broadcast table as Josh, injured apparently by James Creed, who I'm very familiar with. And, I posted that yesterday. I'm finally coming to ARW. And boy, was it met with a lot of some enthusiasm, some not so much. But I really got into it with James Creed a little bit. He had some disparaging things to say. I had some retorts. So I look forward to seeing what kind of trouble I can get myself into at Lake Station on June 13th. Creed and I go back a ways. All the days at SCW, I've taken his sharpshooter from the top rope. That elbow doesn't feel very good, but like I said, I lived. So not saying that's going to happen. I don't think it'll happen. I mean, I'm not going to give it any reason to happen, but it's an interesting opportunity. I'm trying to wind this thing down and take less opportunities, but this is one of those, like when I did all heels wrestling not too long ago, being the last year, I'm trying to get to places that I always wanted to see. And I worked at Northland a minute, and I had never been under the all heels umbrella, so I took the job and I went up there and I had a great time. Worked with Maurice and Shelly Benson. Vic Capri was there, so it was good to see the gang. Now ARW, I get to see the likes of Nick Diamond and James Creed. Some of the people that I haven't had a chance to work with. I believe Ivan Manson and those guys are out there. I haven't worked with them in quite a few years. So it'll be interesting to debut the day after I turn 55 at a new company. But I think it's probably a one-off. I'm just substituting for Josh. It's not like I'm their new commentator, but getting a chance to fill in and check one off the box is a pretty good thing. And they announced a match that it looks to be a pretty good one. The ARW Championship match is happening on June 13th. Greg Glover is their champion, and Greg Glover, I've had the privilege to call a few of his matches over the year. Aaron Xavier brought him in at CTW, and I've worked with him a couple other places. That dude is legit good. I mean, fucking great. He has got that strap. He earned that strap, and he is taking on Joshua Moon. So I'm not terribly familiar with him. I'll have to bone up on what he is and who he is before we get there on June 13th. But it was such a it's just nice to be asked, hey, we'd love to have you come work with us. Is there anything, we know how good you are. Come lend your particular set of skills to our show for a night. It's nice when you hear people say, you do good work, come do good work for us. So I'm very excited about ARW. Red, what do you think? ARW, you think it could stick?
You got 6 months left, so depends on what the missus say.
Well, she, like I said, I got the good fortune of it being my birthday weekend. So she's usually pretty liberal with what she allows me to do right around the time of my birthday because I get an opportunity to do some things that I like to do. So this will be one of them, and it'll mean a lot. Like I said, even when it's over, I'll look back at Lake Station like, man, this is great. I get to be part of that history. I felt that way when I worked a couple of times for POW. I got to be a part of POW history at one of their big events. So it's just it's little stops along the way.
Yeah,
That
it's always fun to work somewhere you've never worked and you think about, you know, lending your talent to. So I mean, it's a great opportunity. ARW is a wonderful company. I've never worked, um, but when you have friends that work everywhere, you know, and I know their caliber, they don't just work any place. So you know that ARW is the real deal. And I've known Greg Glover for a year.
yeah.
Again, it's funny because Ben said it, like to see, and I think he summed it up best, is uh you now look around the locker room and it's a bunch of people you no longer know. It's like, oh, uh, where's my people at? None of them around. Uh, it's all these young guys, and it's like, what? Okay, all right, appreciate it. But when you get to see somebody like Greg Glover, who I know for years was a awesome tag team technician, and now it's great to see him standing on his own. He's a great guy. I don't know if he's loved at ARW, but he's loved as a human. So,
Well, we're going to find out a lot about it. Like I said, it's good fortune. It's good timing. I work still quite a bit, so having off days, I'm usually doing something somewhere. So it just was fate, I guess. So AirW June 13th, Lake Station, Indiana, the American Legion. Check it out. I get to go there and cause a little hell, wreak a little havoc for a while. It'll be good fun, and I look forward to it. Finally, Rocket Pro Wrestling got Kicks on 66 up on their YouTube page. So I finally had the opportunity to see Aaron Stone and Shaq Jordan kick my ass. Now, I watched the match, and there were a couple of things that jump out at me watching the match. I felt pretty darn pleased with the little things that I was able to do in that ring. I was a little unsure of some of the spots. So watching it afterwards, I was pleased and a little proud. Obviously you always want it to be better, but I was happy I went out there and I didn't embarrass myself. At least in my heart, I didn't. I mean, maybe other people think the same. I don't know. I appreciated the way you handled commentary in that match. You made all the points that needed to be made, and you made none of the points that didn't need to be made. However, in September, I am going to full on grab a steel chair and kill Professor Blackburn.
Well,
That motherfucker.
You won't get no.
That motherfucker said some heinous shit.
You won't get any. I tell you what. When you grab the chair,
I'm gonna get that bitch.
I'm moving to the side.
Swing away. I'm gonna get. What I'm gonna do is when we get introduced, I'm gonna stand on the ramp right at the top, and I'm gonna wait for that man, just like Robert Conrad with the Duracell battery on my shoulder. Knock that battery off. I was not happy with that. Travis, I knew what I was going to get from Travis. So, Travis, I thought Travis, if when the time comes that I'm no longer there, I think Travis will be a nice fit. He does a good job. He has a different perspective. He says outlandish shit. He certainly laughed. He laughed harder at that moment that I got hit by Aaron Stone than anybody else I've ever heard laugh. So, I'll give him credit for doing a great job. And I listened to some of the other matches. I thought Travis really got into his style. So you and Travis bouncing off each other, I felt really good about it. Shelly was there until she wasn't, and then she was back again doing Shelly things. She brings color and life to it as always. Professor Blackburn's got to go, and I might be the guy to make him go.
Well,
if I was sitting in that movie theater and I got to listen to that in a group of my peers, I would have asked Bill for his address and I'd have driven to his house. So there you go. There's a feud between me and Black. They don't know it yet, but I'm coming for him. But that's neither here nor there. I've taken a lot of crap about getting the concerto and then coming and doing commentary for the main. It's real simple. I don't give a shit. I don't. That was a very, very important moment in time. And I had a very good idea of what needed to happen in that very important moment in time. Whether I was healthy or not, the job is the job. And I was very pleased with you. I was very pleased with Travis. I thought the three of us gave that match everything it needed from a commentary perspective to make it feel like it was being presented. And I thought that main event is a jewel now that people from Rocket Pro should be very proud of forever, because everything they did, whether you like them or you don't like them, everybody's got an opinion about the Freebirds. Everybody's got an opinion about Youth Gone Wild, myself included. That match was everything you would hope it would be for a big time match. And getting to watch it back, with a clear head and, time to think and ponder about it, I was really pleased with that match. But I will say this. My favorite moment on that entire show, no, it was not Kid Lat doing the Pee Wee Herman on the top rope, but that was close. My favorite moment. Now, I was backstage when it happened, So I was trying to peek through the curtain and watch it. Was Rion Skills coming in and everything that happened in that entrance. That was one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. That was historic. And I loved every second from the Jackson's transition into the tribal chief. It was so perfect. It was one moment in time. So I'll look back at Kicks on 66 many different ways. Obviously Last in Ring, the Freebirds versus Youth Gone Wild, all the things that happened, Michaels and BOW, there were so many magic moments. Santino's heart being broken by
Dude, that's my favorite moment. I'm sorry. It wasn't the main event. It wasn't the tribal liaison entrance. No, it was the No Coast breaking up and having a clear fucking view of Santino's reaction. And oh my God, to see. And I don't know if I kept my shit together on commentary. I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty much sure I lost my shit because that was it. Because I don't think anybody even gave two shits about what just took place in the ring. Everybody looked dead at Santino. And that was it. Like his heart was broke. Like he was left at the prom all alone by himself.
He was jilted.
He was stacked.
It was
didn't show up.
Yeah.
His date showed up with the captain of the football team. It was great. It was great. It was great. That was my moment of the night. Like, yes, like this is beautiful. This is gold.
It was a hell of a show, and I'm glad I got a chance to watch it on YouTube. Go to Rocket Pro's YouTube page, YouTube channel, and check out Kicks on 66 from start to finish. Well worth the watch. Very, very good. From the opening match, the IPW challenge, all the way through to the main. It was some good quality. And you know what's interesting? If you look at that page and you look at the number of views that each match has had, the IPW match has the most views so far. That just goes to show you that IPW is making differences in the wrestling world because that the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
No, I hated that that I was running behind. I had to give Mr. Young had to give me a ride to the show. So
Mr. Young's wrestling, C Red's wrestling. Fuck the sabbatical. Fuck the sabbatical. Marche was right. 4.5 hours in the car with Marche going north. He's like, that motherfucker gonna wrestle again. Marche was right. Marche was right.
I've always stated when it comes to my kids, I will always lace my boots. Because there is nothing.
You are no longer allowed to say you are on sabbatical.
I'm on sabbatical.
You are not on sabbatical.
Will you see me on the show this weekend? No, you will not.
If Billy called you up and said, come out on the 27th, I need you to fight Marche, you would shine up those boots, you would get in that car, you would go to Highland.
First of all, I'm asking how much am I getting paid?
I know. Is that Brittany Case staring into the eyes of fate?
Yes.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. IPW, they're there. They're making a difference. It's the place where all the champions come.
Well, I ain't the champion, so. But I did.
Look at that crowd. Look at that fucking crowd. So disappointed I didn't make that show. If I could have, I would have. But look at that. That is everything that company and that building deserve. And that's amazing. I am so happy, so excited. Hopefully I'll get to see the next one because I just love watching all these guys perform, doing their thing. Look at Jason.
I was too busy cooking on my new toy. So
look on your new toy, but that's just beautiful right there.
Oh, that's a lovely picture.
I'm
Like,
just saying,
ugh.
like I said, IPW showcase at Rocket Pro drawing all the views right now. Big
And
show, nice
again, when
crowd.
I got in,
IPW on the uptick.
when I got in, I heard all the commotion, but literally knowing like I had 5 minutes to get dressed. I couldn't, absorb what was going on. So, but then everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it was great." I was like,
Well,
"Shit."
when you wrestlers that aren't on sabbatical do double shots, that's just what the kind of shit that happens. There's Rion. Everybody got to ask Rion questions.
Who wrestled? I didn't wrestle.
Uh-huh. Rion's looking at you. Rion right there is looking through you.
He
He ain't
ain't
looking
looking
through
through
me.
me.
He's looking through you.
He ain't looking through me.
Looking through you.
He ain't looking through. What he gonna look? What he want to see my
Look at
hoodie?
all that. Look at that right there. You've got those three men are superstars all over the. Corey McHenry is one of the biggest frontline stars.
Oh, I know.
They fucking love that dude. Nick Diamond, nobody shines. I'll see Nick Diamond at ARW. He's
Dude,
starting to get a rub at CSW.
I told Diamond on Saturday, like I am so impressed with his work ethic. Uh, I don't know. I had you had you come in. I think you might have come in. I don't know. Uh, CTW 2.0 and Nick Diamond debuted at, but he was Mikey Balls.
Mikey Balls, yes.
And I had to wrestle Mikey Balls. And I'm like,
Stop talking about your balls. We
I'm not
have
talking
a
about my
lady
balls.
is present, and she's live.
No,
My
God. Oh my God, that was an accident. I just left the gym. I'm a sweaty fucking mess.
We saw you
Ew.
though. We
I'm
saw
so
you.
sorry that you all had to see that.
We saw you.
Oh, that was
Oh,
amazing.
God, let me see how bad it is.
We love
I
you
was
though. We
I was
love
like,
you.
what is happening? There she is again. There she is again.
I just left the gym. Yeah, speaking of, there's an incel calling me Porky and a pig online, and he thinks I'm laughing. He thinks I'm lying about going to the gym. And like, who would lie about that?
People
Like
online are.
I ain't gonna say
stupid.
you post every day, but you
Yeah.
post frequent enough that when you're at the gym.
Yeah, I go 3 times a week, and I do weights 3 times a week.
So
More
how
get
are
their
you
ass
lying?
Yeah, why
Like-
would I lie about that?
Right.
Like some people are assholes. So
I
Well,
know.
Rachel Cactus, you picked the perfect time because
I do have a quick question. How are the babies?
so they are out of surgery. So they had just got out of surgery
Okay.
as we started to uh tape. Um and as of now I am so my grandson had 26 wounds.
Oh God.
His brother had 76 wounds. So at this point, I'm waiting to just make sure everybody is okay.
Right.
I saw my grandson earlier. Uh, he's in great spirits.
Good.
He already has his menu plan. He just wants to get out the hospital so he can go eat.
Oh, I bet.
He just wants to eat.
Good.
And he told us 2 large fries, vanilla shake, and either a McDouble or 20 nuggets.
Why not
either
both?
or,
Yeah.
he
Why
can
not
probably
both?
do it. He can probably do it. But so I thank you for asking. It
Yeah.
has been a rough 24 hours, uh, especially to see his brother in the state he was in.
Yeah.
But to the highlight, probably of the year for me, is to
Yeah.
get an early Father's Day gift, is to see my grandson see me walk in and his eyes get big,
Yeah.
and he was like, yeah, G-Pa is here.
Yeah.
So just so he knew, I'm gonna ride with you. We
Yeah.
gonna get through this.
Yeah.
So to have my daughter and her fiance and his grandmothers and all of his grandmothers and his dad and his godfather and
Yeah.
everybody rally around, not just him but his brother,
Yeah.
and be there. So I appreciate all the support and love,
Yeah. Andrew and I are
because
both really glad to hear that he's okay. Andrew would just
you know
we
we're
want you to
we're
know that we're glad.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Of
much.
course. It still stands. Anything you need.
I appreciate. I just at this point just your prayers and your positive vibes. I appreciate. I love you guys for it. Uh, Yesterday was a day of I didn't want to believe it was real. Uh, Today was this morning was facing reality
Yeah.
and having that breakdown. I'm always trying to be upbeat and be strong, and I couldn't. I just couldn't,
Yeah.
and I lost it, and even my boss asked me, why are you here? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't sit and
Yeah.
be in my head,
You gotta
you
do
know.
something.
So I did that until I worked a half, and then I went and checked on him. And like I said, best Father's Day gift ever was to see him in his eyes and to see him in his great spirit, you know, as much. It was funny. We were like, "Are you in any pain?" He's like, "I feel nothing," and we were like, "Oh, okay,
They give you the
uh,
good stuff.
right. You on the good stuff right now. That
Yeah.
slow drip is the good stuff. I need some of that."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. And then to hear, matter of fact, I left because they were taking uh him to surgery, but
Yeah.
I wanted his father. Only so many people are allowed, and I wanted to make sure his father got to see him
Right.
before they took him. So I left. Uh, Me and my wife left, so him and uh, his soon to be other father and uh, auntie could see him,
Yeah.
and just to now know that right now we're in a good place.
Good.
We know it's going to be a long road to recovery, especially for his little brother. But as long as they understand we are what we say we are, and we're a family,
Good.
So thank you.
Anytime.
All right, before we close this show, let's talk a little bit about the minors bout from this past Saturday. Boy, that girl of yours, she's trouble.
She
She's got
is.
a lot of wheels.
She is. I'm very proud of her.
Take us through all the action. You were there. Your role was you were
So I was actually only there for the brawlers.
Right.
I was not there for the tusslers and the scrappers. I don't know what happened there, but it sounded like everyone had a great time.
Very much
sounded
so.
like they were really impressive as usual. But we got there late. There was a lot. You may have noticed that there seems to be a lot going on lately. For me, there was a lot going on that day too. Like there's a lot going on today. I'll fill you all in later. But so we got there and it was basically like get ready and get out on the track, basically. And it was incredible. I love both teams. I think both teams have come such a long way. Obviously, even though I was the bell babe, and I was supposed to be unbiased because technically I'm an official. obviously I'm like deep in my heart, I'm cheering for the Haunters because that's where my daughter is, and that's where my other daughter was. As you know, Edie is my other daughter. I'm her other mother. But then like the Rumblers I have a soft spot for the Rumblers too. Of course, I'm going to root for them too. I've watched a lot of them grow up, like, you know, Rebel. I have been skating with Rebel's mom since Rebel was like 5, I think. Yeah, it's
And
been about 10 years.
Rebel
I
has
think she
turned
may even
into,
have been.
she is
She
going
may
to be a
even,
force in the Premier League
yeah,
eventually.
she's. I've told her. I've looked right at her, and I'm like, you're a little smart ass. Like,
And Spitfire as well. Both
yeah,
the legacy of the knockouts well
Rebel.
represented.
The
Oh
dark
God, there
child
she
has
is.
arrived.
Last time I saw you, you threatened to have your dragon eat me.
Yes.
Not happy about that.
Hey, she won. But it was a really good bout. I know that Hazel's team. Is it okay if I share that you were a little intimidated?
Yeah.
By the red team? Hazel and a couple people on her team were a little intimidated by the red team because the majority of the older kids were on the red team. And so they were a little nervous going in. They weren't
Well,
sure
you never would have been able to tell that by the way the Haunters dominated that match.
The Haunters because it's not always about size. It's not always about age. It's about experience and about heart. And it's just about trying. And I'm not saying that the Rumblers didn't. I'm saying that the Haunters went in there feeling like underdogs and they surprised themselves. It was a fantastic bout. Hazel pulled off a leg whip, which I missed. Unfortunately, you saw it. I didn't get to see it. I couldn't turn around with all that equipment on me. So it was, yeah, I'm very proud. It was a really bittersweet night, just like that last Premier League bout. These kids have been working so hard. There's Banshee is so impressive. The theatrics from Banshee are so impressive. Bones has become a fantastic jammer. Like the blocking from people like Jackie Slam and you know, people like you know, Donnie Rotten, who is blocking and jamming, and Goldie Blocks is still an insane jammer. Like, these kids are fantastic. And I'm just sad that they're going to be on hiatus for a while. And I can't wait to get back to it.
You know who I really impressed me was Ali Party On.
Yes.
That kid has got mad speed.
I didn't get to see him, but I've seen him at practice.
Man, he played both the Tusslers and he played 2 of the games,
Yeah.
and he played well. So I look forward to seeing what he's going to do. Overall, you know, it was a great night. Everybody had a lovely time. The stands were packed. We had special guest appearances. A lot of the Premier League knockouts came to watch. Punchline was there. It was the first time we'd seen Beetlejuice in forever.
Yes, it was.
Coach Peter was there for the last one. So Barney was there.
Who was there?
Barney.
Oh, I thought you said Barb. I was like, Barb wasn't there.
Oh, Barney was there.
She might come to the next one.
Oh, Barb might come to the one on the 14th, though. So
that's what she said. Also talking about ARW as well. So that'd be interesting.
Well, I think it depends on if I go or not. So
you might be right about that. You might
try to make up my mind.
Euro Thrash was there. Sugar Smacks. I mean, they're all. It was the birthday of the queen of the knockouts, right?
Yeah.
It was sure a birthday.
It was a great show. You have to admit it. You know, everything you needed it to be, it was. And those kids did a great job. There's Jen and Tonic. She's on a walker right now, but she's there cheering on her son Donnie, and Invader Zoom, the medic, did a great job as always. So that family represented well. There's Decadent and Grumpy, and
there's too much noise happening in this car right now.
There is.
Sorry.
When can we expect to see the Miners do it again?
We don't know. We have nothing.
Still working on trying to find a new location, eh?
Yep. So I have no answers. I have no ETAs. I have no estimates.
When one door closes, another one finds a way to open. There, of course, is Rion Skills. At one point, we had the entire crowd doing this.
As
They
you should.
acknowledged him, and it was a beautiful moment in time. That's really catching on, that whole thing.
It is, as it should.
As it should. Did you get a chance to see the Rocket Pro Wrestling, the knockouts at Rocket Pro? You guys look fantastic.
No, we missed the showing because we also had a bout that day.
It's on YouTube now.
Oh, I'll have to look.
So you guys can go watch that. You'll be very pleased. You guys showed up and showed out in a very big way. It was great.
All right. I can't wait to see it. I'll have to check it out.
There's me and my favorite Knockouts broadcast colleague, Nan Slaughter, or she was Nannibal Lecter that night.
Yeah.
She wants to fight. And, like I said, maybe I do have one fight left in me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that if I were you.
She's tough. She's tough.
Yeah.
But she is really good. See, that's me dropping her with RKO.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That happened. That's real. She is so good at doing commentary for roller derby. I have to level myself up to keep up with her. That's how good she is.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to me very often. So always love working with Nan. June 14th is the 18 and over show. What can you tell us? Do you have any dirt?
I don't have a lot of dirt. I think some people are keeping their ideas close to the chest.
That's a lot.
Can I finish talking? Obviously.
Are you gonna punch Drew Bronson?
Yes. We may see a blast from wrestling's past.
Well,
The Dunkaroo Daddy may appear.
is that confirmed? Hot Rod Daddy Andy at the spicy bout?
That is confirmed. Hot Rod Daddy Andy will be skating in the spicy bout.
Is he gonna have his Duke laser fist?
Are you going to have your laser fist?
That's a good idea.
Oh, he said that's a good idea.
I kind of feel like we need the fist.
I will share that I am going to be cotton cunty.
Yeah, I had heard that was a thing. And
Yeah.
how exactly will you be dressed in that?
Not much.
Oh God.
Not much. Think Venus de Milo, but with cotton candy.
I remember the last 18 and over show. I still have not recovered from that event.
Yeah. Think Venus de Milo, but with cotton candy.
Not only is that show going to be dangerous, but the after party is going to be absolutely insane.
If we make it that far.
If we make it,
it's going to be a long night because it's the last bout. I think the times are being extended and the teams are being extended. And so we're just going to go until we can't.
Leave it all on the floor. That's the way it should be as we close out a very, very prolific chapter for the Chicago Knockouts Roller Derby. And it's not the end. It's the end of one chapter. The next chapter will be coming very soon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to be out of here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for Ben McCoy. Thanks for Rion coming tonight with the photos. We really appreciate that. Thanks for Cactus showing up to talk knockouts at the end. Thanks for Red. You all overcame very difficult things to be here, and I appreciate it. Next week on this show, it's June 10th. So I shouldn't have to tell you who the guest is next week.
Clearly it's not the queen of the knockouts.
You should already know.
It's not the queen of the knockouts.
No, I'm never going to live the end of that. I'm never going to.
Nope, you're not.
Never going to hear the end.
You can't give my nickname to somebody else.
Never going to hear the end of it.
No,
anyway,
what am I now?
It's June 10th, next Tuesday, and you all should know who the guest is.
No, I don't.
Come on.
Who's the guest?
Think about it.
Who's the guest?
What's happening on Sunday, June 15th?
No, actually.
June 10th is my birthday, you fucker.
Well, we know this.
Yeah. Who should the guest be? It should be me.
Well, you will be there, obviously. But
yeah,
I lined up a very special guest for your birthday.
Yeah, it's Billy Whack.
There you go. There you go. Doesn't that make you feel good on your birthday? Billy Whack in the house?
I don't know. Apparently, I'm not the queen of the knockouts anymore.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I could teach you how to hit a solid pile driver.
You're going to pile driver me?
I got you, Steve. Yeah.
All right. For the urban sensation, C-Red, for the real deal, Rion Skills, for the one true
For
queen
not
of the
the queen of the knockouts.
for the one true queen,
For not the queen of the knockouts, yes.
for the empress of the knockouts.
Mm.
Hey, Empress is cool.
That's better. An empress is better than a queen.
You're gonna have to workshop this, Steven.
That's the same thing. That's just a different way of saying.
You're
queen.
gonna have to workshop
Hazel,
this.
I blame you for this. I blame you all for this, Hazel. It's all your fault.
Hazel says she ain't got nothing to do with this.
So that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. I'm Steve. Thanks for watching the Power Hour. We will catch you next week on Cactus's birthday. Have a good night, y'all.